Well, what did you expect? I expected exactly most of what happened in this
Oof.
game. Tom Brady picked this defense apart. They don't.
Welcome into live post-game show, everyone on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel as well as 6abc.com. I'm Mark Farzetta along with Derek Gunn, Devin Caney. Joining us a little bit later in the show, John McMullen will be joining us from the stadium. And Gunner, I believe we do have another special guest. Who's that guy? Who's the guy?
Yeah, keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully he can remember. He's normally been watching the games from home since his Achilles injury, but because tonight was alumni night and the Eagles asked him to come out, he decided to go out to the game tonight. So initially earlier today, he goes, "Hey, man, I can't do your show." I said, "Why?" He goes, "I'll be at the game." I said, No. You don't understand. You can do it from your phone." Oh, okay. So see, people don't understand what I go through dealing with athletes sometimes.
You got to babysit. You got to babysit every once in a while.
A lot of them are really good guys, but you're right. Some of them you just have to pamper a little bit, and it's like having additional kids sometimes, man. But
we appreciate you giving him the nudge, though.
Yeah, really,
the nudge or 20.
Hey, look! I don't need this. I take enough Maalox as it is on a daily basis.
Oh my goodness! Well, with all the barbecue you eat and having to watch this team at the same time, pass that Maalox.
No, I don't take Maalox. I should after watching this game, but.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the program. We got a fine post-game program for you, regardless of what happens with our good friend Brandon Graham. I was looking for Brandon Graham at the end. Could have used a strip sack. That would have been nice of that Tom Brady character. Yeah. But I want to make sure, because I know Nick Sirianni is a first-time head coach, first-time play caller. I know this is Jalen Hurts' first season with the starter's reins in his hands, right? And all that. And I know that they're like Devontae Smith's a rookie, and I'm aware of all this stuff. But, like, the Eagles are aware that football is 4 quarters, right? Like, they don't have to start playing midway through the third quarter, right? They understand that there's 4 quarters in the game. It's not like, you're playing hockey where there's only 3 or anything like that, right? Like, they understand that they can start playing better football earlier in a game, which I make half a joke about, lighthearted about, just because of this. When you're starting out a game, you are in the midst of your game plan. You are in the midst of your 15 scripted plays. You're in the midst of what you expected the offense to do if you're Jonathan Gannon and what you expected Tom Brady to do. Like, you're in the midst of all of that. The fact that their adjustments were 1,000 times better than their game plan is good for the adjustments, horrible for the game plan in terms of what you were expecting this team to do, both defensively and offensively. Let's start it out, though, on the side of the ball that I know a lot of people care a good amount about when it comes to what's going on with this offense. In the beginning of this game, Gunnar, I don't know what you saw. Devin, I don't know what you saw. But to me, I saw a very inaccurate Jalen Hurts and an atrocious game plan from Nick Sirianni. It's hard to try to evaluate both of them at the same time, but obviously there were throws that Jalen Hurts missed that he should have made. Then Nick Sirianni's play calling is mind-numbing based on, again, and I keep on going back to this, Nick Sirianni does not abandon the run. He ignores it. Like, even Andy Reid and Doug Peterson look at his play calling and his offense and go, I think you should run the ball a little bit here.
To abandon something, you have to have it in the first.
You have to be there first.
So,
exactly.
It was never there. Never there.
It was never there. And then he ran the ball against, yes, the best run defense. I'm aware of what they do. I don't care if you're facing the Steelers defenses of the 70s, the Ravens defenses of the early 2000s. I don't care what defense. You still have to run the football to at least bail out in some instances your quarterback, who in the first half of this game was completing his passes at an abysmal 35%. Somebody's got to help the other guy out here, because Jalen Hurts isn't good enough to bail out Nick Sirianni's atrocious game plan, and Nick Sirianni certainly is doing nothing to help his quarterback either. So somebody's got to do something to help the other guy even a little bit. That's what jumped out to me that was so frustrating about this game. Great comeback late to try to make it a game, fine. But maybe you don't have to have that huge comeback late if you would have, had a little bit of a better game plan going into this one.
Are you done?
Hold on a second.
Are you done?
Hey, no, Mark, you got to turn around and just go for one of those bottles of vodka right now.
Just yeah, man. Like Devin says.
You don't mean this delicious stateside vodka, do you?
Just grab the bottle, man, and
fun.
be done with it because we got a long way to go. And
I
I want to see even more candid Mark Farzetta before this night's over.
I'm so furious, man. I am
okay.
I got to be honest. I'm so over the top angry about how they played this football. And look, you could go to late in this game again and how they came back, and I don't want to discredit that, but how are you this ill prepared for this particular game? Like, do you need more film on Tom Brady? Do you need to know what he's good at pretty much everything. Like, he even snuck for a first down to end the game. Throughout this game, I just saw a team that was not at all prepared, even on a short week. Oh my God, not at all prepared to play this football game.
Well, what did you expect? I expected exactly most of what happened in this game. Tom Brady picked his defense apart. They don't pressure much. You were talking about Jalen Hurts and accuracy. At least on the first drive, they did take a deep shot. I'd been screaming about that on pregame shows earlier tonight and other platforms. You know what? You have to against this Tampa Bay team, because they are so talented and so deep on both sides of the ball, even though they were depleted in their secondary. 3/4 of their starting secondary was out. Richard Sherman, who they just brought in on September 28th, was starting another game on a short week. So, he's not 100%. Even at 33 years old, he's still not in 100% football shape where he needs to be. I thought you had to go to the pass more than a run in this game. And I was so proud of the Eagles when, they went down after getting embarrassed on that first drive by Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay just walked down the field and walked it in the end zone like they were playing a practice squad game. And the Eagles, they could have folded right there, but they rallied. They bowed up. They went right back down the field, made it 7-7. And then after that, Tampa Bay did basically whatever they wanted to do on both sides of the football. Now, Tampa Bay came after Hurts like I thought they would. That kid was running for his life. I have to give him a lot of credit for one thing. He could have taken 5 or 6 sacks tonight, but his ability to escape and just keep plays alive and either take off and run and made a couple of throws. He missed on a couple of throws. But I have to give him a lot of credit. This kid was running for his life tonight behind a passed-up offensive line against a very formidable defensive front. Even though Tampa Bay didn't have Levante David out there, he was out with an injury. They still have so much talent. I knew it was going to get ugly, but it was very similar to the Carolina game in terms of how they decided to come back late third into the fourth quarter. And Tampa Bay kind of helped him. I didn't understand why Tampa Bay decided to go for it on the 4th and 2.
I can't believe it either.
And give them a short field. It made no sense. I don't know. Were they bored? Did they just want the game to be more entertaining?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand that. But
it did almost seem like Tom Brady is Tom Brady, but from the start of this game, even going into this game, it kind of felt like it was a short week for both teams, and it felt like Tampa Bay was kind of coming in here treating it like a preseason game. Like, all right, we're going to get in, we're going to get the win, we're going to move on. So I don't even think Tom Brady was on his A game in the fact that they still were up by that much. And yes, we did make it a close game once again at the end, but we weren't playing the Panthers this week, so we didn't come out with a win. But sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
No, it's all you, Deegan.
What? No, but
it's all you, buddy.
Only thing I was going to add was that, Tom Brady was playing with an injured finger on his throwing hand. So we don't know how much that affected him. He looked pretty good in the intermediate game all night. He missed on a lot of deep throws, some of which he normally would have made, but he missed on a lot of deep throws. For the life of me, I just don't understand why Jonathan Gannon doesn't blitz more. I just don't get it. I don't get why he doesn't bring a safety down in the box to support the run. He doesn't bring a safety down in the box to blitz. I just don't get it. I understand you want to keep everything in front of you. I get that. But at some point, when you're playing a guy like Brady, you're not going to confuse the Brady. Guys like Brady, Aaron Rodgers, guys like that, even Patrick Mahomes, you're not going to fool these guys. You just have to hope you can force them to make a mistake somehow. How do you force Tom Brady to make a mistake? Get pressure on him. Because number one, he gets the ball out of his hands quicker than anybody else in the league. And number two, the man doesn't make mistakes with the football. Now, he gave the Eagles a punt on one play when he threw a deep ball, and, Anthony Harris picked it off. But for the most part, it's a psychological warfare when you play a Tom Brady. You know, it goes beyond just a chess game because you're not going to out-chess Tom Brady. So it has to be a psychological warfare in terms of you have to get some hits on Brady. The only way you make Brady make a mistake is get some hits on him. Eagles didn't do that. And I wasn't expecting them to do that from what we've seen of a Jonathan Gannon defense. And so, lo and behold, you know, Tampa Bay builds this big lead. And I'll go back to what I said a moment ago. It appeared to me that Tampa Bay got bored and decided to let the Eagles come back in the game a little bit. And it turned out to be a save your face type game for the Eagles. But there's two stats that I had to look at 5 or 6 times before I realized that's the exact stat. Number one, Miles Sanders, 1 carry for 1 yard in the first 30 minutes of football.
Yeah.
And 2, the final stats, the Eagles had 213 yards of offense. 213 yards of offense. That's it. And I'm sitting here thinking, Nick, you just came out of a game against a very good Carolina defense, and you were going on short notice against an even better defense. Couldn't you have devised something a little bit better to get your players in position to make plays? You didn't start running the football until late in the second half, and lo and behold, now obviously Tampa Bay was sitting back in the pass, so Miles Sanders really started picking up some yards in the running game. But maybe Miles Sanders could have found a hole somehow, some way against this almost impregnable Tampa Bay defense to maybe put momentum back in your favor early in the game, but you didn't even give a man a try.
No.
You didn't. You abandoned it altogether. So what are you telling the players like a Miles Sanders? You know, I'm practicing all week just like everybody else. You've seen the tape on me from a year ago. You know what I'm capable of doing, and yet you continue to ignore me? I feel bad for Miles Sanders right now. I really do.
As do I, but I want to go back to the very first sentence you had there, Gunner.
Yeah.
What did you expect is the question that you posed. And I'm going to go ahead and answer it. I expected the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game 33-17. Like, I didn't expect the Eagles to win this game. I expected them to get a little bit more pressure with their front four, even without a blitz on Tom Brady, more than what they got, which was next to nothing. But I expected a little bit more. One thing I definitely expected, at least was hoping for, was the idea of seeing Nick Sirianni learn from his previous mistakes of, again, ignoring the running game. And I'm very much aware that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came into this game allowing 45 rushing yards per game. 45 rushing yards per game, by far the best in the NFL. However, let's think about that for a second. Is Todd Bowles a good defensive coordinator? Certainly. Absolutely. Do they have 2 pretty good defensive tackles, and Ndamukong Suh being one of them, in the middle of that defensive line? They certainly do. Yes. But teams against the Buccaneers are throwing the football. One, because of what I just said. It's a good interior and a good defensive coordinator. But the other is because they're playing from behind the entire game because they're one of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL. There's a reason why coming into this game that the Bucs with a top-rated run defense and the worst-rated passing